only thing you have in their playbook.
Again?
Hey, look, it's Sour Ron.
Again, Sour Ron and the fat guy
and the
boat a-hole and the blind queen. Wait, how do we know she's blind? She doesn't have a bandana. I'm recording this. I'm clipping this. You're half on camera.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. It's funnier that way. The boat. That's why my phone's cracked. Because this table is just slightly at an angle. Just a millimeter off. Well, holiday, I don't crapping know. It doesn't affect me anyway. And the way people act, it's like, well, what does it matter anyway? Everybody acts so damn oppressed. Look at this crap. There is no holiday because everybody is and everybody are phobes and everybody's acting like it's 1860 again. It's 1860 again. What kind of music did they even have back then? I'm doing like 1920s singing. 1860. What music did they even listen to? They had a fife. They had fifes and snare drums. I can't sing a fife and snare drum. Oh, I don't know. Monte Carlo Film Festival Sunday. Cast members from the fantasy series Lord of the They Them Rings of Power. The series that has nothing to do with Sonic the Hedgehog. Expressed feelings about the racist trolls who objected to the Prime's diversity and including casting, cash grab when it first launched. Last month is Ishmael Cruz Cordova, who played the Elven Warrior and whatever. They were istophobic to him in the show because he was an elf, weren't they? Like, oh, you're just an elf. You're an elf. You're just a gross elf with those pointy ears. You're an elf and you have pointy ears and you're gross and I bet you smell bad. His PayPal got hacked. His phone got hacked. His friends got messages, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Welcome to the internet, dude. I got the same type of stuff. I got people trying to hack my stuff. I get people trying to do all this stuff. Just for saying Captain Marvel was a dumb movie and the actress does not have as an ample as a backside as me. So, and I'm nobody screaming at a microphone from a spare room in my house here in Vegas. You know, there's better stuff to talk about in Vegas. Oh my gosh, there's better stuff to talk about in Vegas. We got real stuff going on. We got real life happening out there. I got to see it. The Holy Grail. The real one. The Stanley Cup. As you guys know, that's more important than these people being called-ist or phobes or this is how they market these shows to you. You guys know that. You guys know it's all a grift. This is how they get people because it triggers this little part. You see it in there, and that's why they use these words because your average person is going to see racist backlash, and they'll be like, ooh, and they'll be like, ooh. They don't like that because nobody likes that. It's like you know, it's like the same people who go around saying, you know, they don't want bad things to happen to underage people. Everybody dislikes that. Nobody wants bad things to happen to anyone at all, ever. That always is designed to literally trigger that ooh thing in your brain, and that's what it does. It gets you to click the article. It gets you to be mad and remember because the anger emotion is going to trigger your memory of the thing. That's Psychology 101. It is an electrochemical, neuroscience-ological, that's not a word, but it should be, neuroscience-ological thing where you get this little angry ping in your head. And you remember the memory more because the memory is attached to that angry emotion, right? Same thing like when you walk into a restaurant that just smells really, really good and it just smells the way it should. It smells like the restaurant you want to eat at, or, you know, like you go home to your mom's house and it smells like home, right? You have certain emotional responses and triggers with things, whether it be smell, sight, sound, emotion. They really like playing on people's emotions on these things. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know, but this is why they use this. This is why they do this, because nobody gives a flippity flip about these kind of geek properties enough otherwise in these sort of spin-off, sequel, reboot, remake. Because you got your like normies who will go to the movies. You got your normies who will even watch a Game of Thrones. It takes a super type of viewer to go in with this niche of a niche of a niche stuff on a daily basis. And this is one of the ways they kind of get the normies to even check out the first episode. But we remember with these, they tuned out in massive droves. Was this the one? They're all this way. You start to see the viewership dip and dip and dip and dip as we go down. The same thing happened with Batwoman, didn't it? And the same thing happened with Ms. Marvel. Every time we have one of these bad shows, same thing happened here. Her desire to move on from the subject. Oh, the blind queen who had the thing tied around her face. I want to move on from the subject. I'm looking forward to, as we move on to season 2, is allowing conversations to be in the past and just plow ahead. When you have progress, it's like we're not going backward from the things that we've established. I'm ready to acknowledge it and move on from it because, well, this is a very reasonable thing. I think we've said all there is to say. I know that Yeah. Oh, wow. So can we talk hockey now? Can we talk something else interesting or not? Because have we really said all we have to say? I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again, that yes, this is a marketing tactic to get people to remember this. This is a thing. This is why we just riff on them at this point, because they're not doing anything other than using these things to grift you out of a streaming subscription just by having content, empty content. And there's nothing you can do or say about it. Content, streaming content. And we'll grift and yell and cry euphoria. Just to get it into your brain. That's what they do. They get this content onto these streamers just to have hours and hours of content. And how do they get you to know it is there? This is istophobic. I don't think this season, I don't think it's going to work this time. I don't think anybody are going to, we're going to stick it to those trolls. Sometimes that works too. Sometimes that works just enough for the first episode or just enough to get that Twitter engagement, because it's the same thing on both sides of the aisle, isn't it? You get enough people just to tweet about it, and then people think it's a thing, but it's really just a bunch of virtue signaling idiots on Twitter who don't know what they're doing and don't actually care. And that goes for the people who think that they're protecting underage people and the people who think that they're saving the world from istophobia. Wow, they're all the same thing. Notice they gave up after a while with Velma. Yeah, and they gave up after a while with Velma too. You remember that? They're probably going to give up after a while calling you an istophobe and just drop it all, dump it on there and say, look, we have all this content though. Look, we've got 5 seasons of this for you to watch on our streamer. And that's all this is really, really designed to do, is to give you a good chunk of content until they figure out what the next business model is. Because at the end of the day, we're going to have like 2 or 3 major streamers and they're all going to have all these other sub ones incorporated. Again, just like we did with cable and satellite back in the day. Remember when satellite first became a home consumable? You had U.S. satellite broadcasting and what was the other one? Was it like Dish or something? But you had just like some of the high number channels on the one, like you get Comedy Central on one of them, and you'd even get them both on the same bill for about a minute. And then they all incorporated into the same thing to be DirecTV and whatever it was. I'm getting the names of the companies wrong, but that's what kind of happened then. And that's, I think, what they're going to do now with the streaming services, where you're going to have a few of them just kind of incorporate into the others. I'm more curious to know who owns the servers for all of these and who are the web hosting. Who are actually sending this crap out? Are they doing it in-house? Are they renting it out to somebody else? From somebody else, I should say. That's what I want to know. Where is all this crap being stored on their servers? Because if they're renting it from somewhere else, then that's going to be your first streamers to go. I am Mecca, and I'm way overthinking this for a dumb, bad TV show about boat a-holes and sour Ron. Going back to my live chat. Don't you go anywhere.